Okay, we are back, and let's now continue on with making the roof and kind of finishing off this Revit model or Revit project. So we'll go to the first floor, and then let's just tell Revit, hey, we want to put a roof on this thing. So we're going to go into Architecture, Roof, and then Revit tells me, hey, do you want the roof at the floor level, basically the level of the floor? And it's obviously no, because the roof should be higher. So it's asking me, do you want to move it to the next level? And we named that level TOC, or top of ceiling. So let's just say yes, let's move it to the second level. So basically now Revit knows where to place the bottom of the roof. We're going to pick wall, and then we're going to give it an overhang. So let's say we want the roof to hang over the wall about 16 inches. So we're going to go 16, and then we're going to pick the walls. And it's really important that when you're creating roofs that you pick the walls. There are other exceptions where you don't want to pick the walls, but for the most part, as standard good practice and good procedure, you want to pick walls. So I picked all my walls there, and then I'm going to trim off these two lines. And all of these little triangles, what that means is the slope. Revit's asking me, hey, do you want this roof to slope upwards? So for the sake of this exercise, let's just keep them all sloping upwards. And then we'll change the slope to a 412, which is a very standard architectural roof slope. And then let's just say OK. And then Revit did something, but you don't see it. So I guess we'll talk about view ranges now, but it is there, because if you go to the 3D view, there is the roof. Okay, so let's just talk about briefly why you weren't able to see it. So if you're looking at a first floor, this view, technically what's happening is you are looking as if you cut an imaginary line at a 4-foot level, and then you just remove the top. So that's what a typical architectural floor plan is representing. I guess another way to look at it is, here I'm going to turn on the section box, which is another cool little tool. Let me bring it closer to my view here. Turn this off, and I'm going to hit WT, which is window tile. It just shows me all the windows that I have open. So this first floor plan view is equivalent to you looking at a complete house, but cutting it 4 feet above the floor, right? So that way you see this window here, that window is represented here. This window here is represented here. This door that's been cut is represented here. So it is standard for architecture for the floor plan to be, in theory, cut 4 to 5 feet off the floor. Okay? And because that's the view that you're looking at, when we created the roof, you didn't see the roof because the roof was above our heads, right? So hopefully that made sense. Let me bring the section box back up so you can see everything. And then if you just want to make this window the larger scale, you just type TW, which is the opposite, WT versus TW. Let me turn off the section box also. Okay, so now let's talk about those little triangles and what do they mean. So if I go back to Edit Footprint, you see this triangle? It makes the slope go up. So if you see that? So let's say, and this is called a hip roof, by the way, but let's say we want a gable roof on this two ends. What you want to do is you want to click this and say it does not have a slope. So then that triangle disappears. If I click that and say does not have a slope, now if I OK it, now I get what we call a hip roof, right? I'm sorry, a gable roof. and this is a hip roof. These two angles are called hips of the roof. So let's just make it consistent, and let's make this a gable end, and then I'll show you a different tool. So you can see when you do a gable roof, this wall doesn't go all the way up to the gable, so you can see a hole through the gable, right? So for the most part, if you're just drawing an elevation, it doesn't really matter because you're going to erase all these lines and it's going to look fine. It's going to be a white wall here. But in order for your model to be accurate, what you want to do is you want to select that wall and you want to say attach top base to that wall, and then that wall will continue all the way up. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to select this wall here and say attach top base to this. Did it do it? No. Oh, it did. It's just that, you know, the floor that we created is kind of in the way. I'm just going to hide it so you can see. And again, we're going to take this wall here and we're going to say attach top base. So there you go, guys. You have a Revit roof. Now, Revit roof could get really, really complex, and you guys will run into a project where, yeah, the roof is going to be not so fun. But hopefully we'll hit one of those and do a lot of learning. In the meantime, we'll see you in the next video.